Okay, so my dad...
Yes.
I told my dad what our topic was. Oh, should I not say it? Oh,
No, you can say
we're doing
it.
a cold open? Okay.
No, we're not. That just didn't work.
No, I like it.
I know you like it. but it
Because
just
when
didn't
I was
work.
listening to our last one, I was like, oh, this is our cold open. It's so fun.
Oh, okay.
I liked it.
So
But-
we're gonna go with the cold open
Yeah,
again.
I don't think we should keep talking about it, though, because this is like the third time we've talked about the
No,
cold
you're-
open on the cold open.
Right. So we have to have some sort of bit. What did your dad say about the topic?
So I told him the topic, and then he sent me the breakdown of the word
Okay.
in Latin.
All right.
Okay.
So the breakdown of the word in Latin,
so
you're
the-
going to have to get
What?
after we do the titles and the intro, right?
Should I wait on this?
I mean, isn't it? That's like a tease. We did a tease in our cold open.
Mm.
So what is it? The breakdown of the word I'm not going to give it away.
Patty mayonnaise. Okay.
Compatibility mayonnaise. All right, here's our cold open. Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. I'm Matt Young. I'm a theater educator and a parent. And ever since I lost my father to cancer, I have been mildly obsessed with death. This is my last will and testament. An unknown author once said, "True compatibility is when two people can be their authentic selves and still complement each other." Today's topic, it's compatibility. It's just Claire and I today, so you know there's going to be a little bit of talk about the Lord of the Rings, a little bit of talk about Claire's dating profile, and some other things that I can't remember exactly at this moment. But we have a lot of fun talking about compatibility, and I think we discover a few things. So I hope you enjoy this episode.
Okay.
All right, we're back, I guess.
Okay. The word compatible
That's our topic.
in Latin means to suffer with. Because the word... Well, wait.
Oh, no.
Cum plus pati. C-U-M
Okay.
plus P-A-T-I. With means cum, and suffer means pati. But this word is spelled C-O-M-P. Well, maybe it was different in Latin.
I think it has to be. So it's to suffer with?
Maybe
That's what
my dad's wrong.
compatibility-
He's not wrong. He's never wrong. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
To suffer with. I mean, yeah, because we automatically think of it as some sort of negative.
Well, I think about it as the opposite, is to partner with.
Right, but like, no, I'm sorry. I was saying you think of to suffer with is a negative thing, but it's like you're doing something with this person, which is hopefully good and bad, and someone you can. It's like you're not suffering the other person; you're suffering a third party event with that person. Is what it feels like.
All to say that the word suffer is not a bad thing, because
Yes.
it is.
No, well,
not.
it's. I think what I'm trying to say is you're not suffering the other person. You're suffering something else with that person, something you could do with that person.
I mean,
is what
Latin is an incredibly ancient language.
maybe it's
They
dead
didn't
for a
really
reason.
Get us.
Wow,
No, but they were never wrong, actually.
wow. Should we put it into the translator? Put compatibility in Latin, and see if it says to suffer with.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a great. In my mind, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like you get together with a partner, and you have to suffer through bad community theater to suffer with.
I love that.
A partner,
but is that compatibility? I mean, our whole podcast right now is not going to be about that.
No, but
I mean, yes.
Latin is a dead language, so we only have to touch on it.
It's still pretty much alive, though.
Is it?
Yeah, it's kind of like dead poison ivy on a tree in the winter.
Okay.
Did you know that?
That's what Latin is?
Yes.
It's dead poison ivy in the winter on a tree.
Yes. Like if you're ever in the woods and I've done this before, where you see this like fuzzy vine on a tree and it's like the dead of winter.
Yeah.
And you touch it. You could contract poison ivy from that because it is a dead poison ivy vine, but it's not it's the oils are still there.
How can you contract Latin?
No, what I'm saying is that Latin is the vine on the tree. It's dead, but it's still the oils are still there.
Okay.
The oils are still in our language.
Latin's going to make you itchy?
No.
You're going to need calamine lotion for Latin? I'm so confused. No, I get it. I get what you're saying. Hey, welcome to the Last Will podcast.
Hey.
It's just Claire and myself and her father's definition of the word compatibility, which is today's topic. We're talking about compatibility. If we go to the definition, there are compatibilities for technology, for relationships, for biology and chemistry, design and engineering. I think we're probably going to talk about relationships more than anything else.
Unless we don't.
And just talk about technology compatibility?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, compatibility generally refers to the ability of two or more entities to exist or work together without conflict or problems. It can apply to various contexts, such as, and then it's technology, relationships, biology, design, and all of that stuff. So relationships. In personal or professional relationships, compatibility refers to how well individuals align in values, interests, and lifestyles, which can affect their ability to coexist or collaborate effectively. All right? That makes sense?
Okay.
I like to suffer with. It feels like you have to be very, very compatible with someone to suffer with. To suffer through.
It's
this
interesting
is what I'm
that
thinking.
you
Suffer through.
It's interesting you take that.
I said glass half full. Really,
you do that. You get that take out of it because I didn't. I mean, yes, if you and a friend like to go see bad theater together, you are compatible.
Right.
But you're suffering through bad theater together, so that's why you're compatible.
Well, I have heard the saying that people bond over things that they hate too.
Yes.
Like sometimes you can bond with someone over something that you hate more than you can bond with people over something that you like.
There's also trauma bonding.
Yes, absolutely.
But wait a minute. If you hate...
I have a dead relative, you have a dead relative.
Yeah, let's be sad about it together.
Let's share our pain.
But is it... if we're bonding over something that we hate, do we enjoy...
Hating it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So there is some enjoyment about it.
Yes.
So there is a positive outcome to compatibility.
I think so.
I mean,
there can be a negative.
I think I'm reading the Latin definition incorrectly. I think you're correct about this, and I'm wrong. Yes, to suffer with would be. I think of two people suffering together, and it's not a happy picture. Like two people with broken arms.
Or suffering together.
Yeah. I don't think that's compatibility.
But they're still suffering. Well,
that's what I think of when I think of to suffer with. Like you don't want to be in a hospital ward of other people with broken limbs.
Well, then you know that everybody on the floor knows how to take care of people with broken limbs.
Yeah, but everybody's got their own individual pain associated with the subject.
Yeah, for sure.
Although I have a brilliant idea. It's called the breakup ward. It's at a clinic or at the hospital, and you have I don't know if any of our listeners have had such painful breakups before that I've experienced, but I need water, oxygen, sleep, and comfort food. And maybe
only the last one is not essential to survival. Water, water, oxygen, and what you said, water, oxygen.
Well, what I mean by comfort food is, there are only foods that I can eat when I'm going through pain like that, and it's not every food. It's really only like fruit and certain fruits.
What kind of fruit is your comfort fruit?
Like pine, like I don't know about pine, like strawberries.
Were you going to say pineapple?
Yeah, but I'm not allowed to eat pineapple anymore, so I'm trying.
Got a lot of acid in that
pineapple.
Yeah.
I'm on an acid-free diet at the moment.
You can't have citrus either.
I can't.
You can't not.
I am certainly going to get scurvy soon.
Yes. And let's hope that you don't have to suffer through something because you don't have your comfort.
I don't have a friend to suffer with.
No. So I did look up the Latin word in compatibility can be derived from two roots: com, meaning together or with, and patabilis, which comes from the verb pati, meaning to suffer or to endure. Thus, compatibility in Latin can be understood as the ability to endure together or coexist without conflict.
Oh, okay. Makes way more sense than my dad's text.
No, but patty means to suffer or to endure. Endure.
Okay.
Sometimes you say that word and it
Endure.
it loses its meaning. You say it so much. To endure. So, okay. Compatibility. We bond over things that we dislike. What else makes compatibility for you?
I mean, all right. So anti-compatibility. Like, let's say I am looking for a partner who also likes Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Which has been discussed on this podcast before. It might be a non-negotiable for me.
Right.
But
things have changed for me. Well, sometimes
we're working on it.
There's a hit. Well, there's yeah, absolutely. There's context.
It was not a
context.
It wasn't a non-negotiable for you.
No, but there was at one point I was like, well, this person doesn't even like this stuff.
Well, it was a non-negotiable for me for you.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Like you can't date them.
Right. But now there's context.
But there's okay. So context. Anyway, I would not be interested in dating somebody who is a little bit more nerdy than me.
Oh.
So, like, I matched with a guy once who kept telling me, he was like, are you okay with the fact that I'm a nerd? And I'm like, I don't know what that means. I think I'm a nerd, but like, what does that mean for you?
Right.
And he was like, I go to Ren fairs, I go to Comic-Con, I do this and that. Like, I don't know if he said he played Dungeons and Dragons or something. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things. But then I was like, oh, okay, that's what that means to you.
That's your nerd.
That's not, I don't do those things. And I actually am not super comfortable around nerdier than me people.
But I think you bring up a pretty good point, which is like the context again. No, the encompassment of nerddom. Is that even a phrase? What am I actually talking about? Like
the realm?
The realm of nerddom for that person has to match.
Or
can be greater, but has to like be compatible with your nerddom.
Or you need to be like Lord of the Rings intelligent book only. Like, love that you would love the movies, excellent, required.
Right.
But please understand the Tolkien verse. But I don't need I could go my entire life without dressing up as a hobbit and going to a Comic-Con or a Ren fair. I don't need that.
Or knowing what food is on the menu at the Prancing Pony.
I don't need that.
Yeah.
I really don't. And quite frankly, I don't think I would be interested in, I mean, hobbit food sounds great, but I don't know if it's going to go with my diet right now.
No, certainly wouldn't.
And I'm not a huge fan of potatoes. They love potatoes.
Potatoes.
Right. And anyway, so...
Okay, that's
an incompatibility.
That's good to know. Can we just talk about the Ren Fair for a second?
Yeah.
We have friends who love the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you ever been to one?
No, I can't bring myself, because look, as somebody who's studied acting, there's something about performing in real life that makes me very, very uncomfortable. Like, save it for the stage or film or whatever. Like, do your work where you're supposed to do your work. But when you're acting out in, like, I don't know.
What do they do there? Like, are they acting out together in circles?
I think everybody is acting, you know? Like walking around talking in what they think an old Englishy accent is.
Yes, that also makes me uncomfortable.
And yes, I just very, very uncomfortable for me.
I don't mind that on like a one-on-one basis or in a small group.
Like someone wants to cosplay.
Yeah.
In the bedroom, that's fine. Like I can see that. I
don't know if it would work for me in the bedroom. I don't know.
I think if somebody dressed up as Gandalf and showed up at your
doorway. No, come on. Right. Gandalf?
It was the first one to pop.
Aragorn, come on. That would work way better. By the way, I was looking for Lord of the Rings Squishmallows on Amazon. I don't think they've made them yet.
Okay.
But I found a pillow that says Lord of the Cats, and it's basically a picture of all the Fellowship dressed like cats.
Okay.
And it says the Furlowship of the Ring.
I think I've seen something similar, but I've seen cats dressed up as the Fellowship.
What did I say?
You said the Fellowship dressed up as cats. So basically like Viggo Mortensen and Elijah Wood with cat makeup on.
I meant the opposite. I meant what you said. Cats dressed up like the
It's too late because it's already out there.
I'm gonna have to put that in like the Instagram filter later, that the Fellowship dressed up like cats.
Yes, see what it comes up with.
Everyone's wearing lions.
Yeah. Okay,
Lions
so
fur.
as we're putting together your dating profile, I guess can't be nerdier than me.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit nerdy,
Yeah.
although certain things are important.
You also, it was interesting too that you don't take this the wrong way, but you went with the negative first. You can't be, as opposed to you should be or I want you to be.
Mm-hmm. Which is all like so silly anyway, because again, like I could match with somebody who's like, I've never seen the movies, or I've seen them and I don't like them, and I'll be like, well, we're gonna have to, I like you,
Yeah.
but we're gonna have to change that in our relationship, because I have a lot of stuff in my life that is
I want
Lord
shared.
of the Rings based.
Yeah. No, I've recently in that situation, and there was real joy in me. It wasn't, and maybe that's how you've connected with someone, or you're compatible with them. It like, to me, felt like, oh, you haven't seen this. I get to enjoy you watching this thing for the first time. That was like my genuine feeling was, I can't wait to see how you react to this or how you enjoy this.
But what if they don't enjoy it?
Then they don't enjoy it. I'm sure we'll have a discussion about it.
We have a
in
friend
depth about film.
We have a friend who, and I forgive her because she's a friend, and I can forgive a friend, but I might not be able to forgive a romantic partner.
No.
Which is a different story for the therapy room. But like, we have a friend who I sat down, we did like the first 2 Lord of the Rings movies, and she didn't like them. We didn't even watch the third one. She has no interest. She's like, I just, and this person loves fiction.
And fantasy?
Yes. Isn't interested in Tolkien.
And I don't think I know who this is.
Oh, you absolutely
no.
know
I mean,
who
I think
this
I
is.
know the person probably, but I don't think I knew that this was a fact.
It doesn't seem right to me. I feel like maybe she hasn't. If she's listening, and she might hear me say this, and she probably knows that I feel this way. I don't think she's quite gotten there yet, or she's yet to tap into it when she's ready.
She's going to have an awakening.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
So
is this turning into a Lord of the Rings episode?
Sorry.
Because at the core, the only compatibility that Claire needs is a Lord of the Rings understanding, but not
God.
too much of
Not
an
too
understanding.
much. No, and the same with theater. Like, I don't know. What about you've dated people who, I don't know. Have you dated non-theater people? People who don't dabble in the arts?
A little bit, but oh wow.
Well, you've pretty much had your whole life around the theater. Like, you went to school for it.
Yeah.
You do. That's what your job is.
I mean, and nobody that I think I've dated for dated for a period of time or was in a relationship with. I think they're people that I went on dates with outside of it. And I don't think it was my choice that we didn't have more dates or whatever, or it wasn't about them not liking theater. But I can tell you, there's an understanding and a language and a love for art that has to be there for me.
Yeah.
Whether it's sharing art, whether it's how we see art, that's really like important to me.
I found that I've been on dates before where I will share the fact that I do theater, and there's either a genuine interest or not. And the interest, if that person's like, oh my gosh, tell me all about that. What's, they might have an interest in like all these questions about how theater works and this and
Right.
that. Or it'll just kind of pass, the topic will just totally pass. And then there's no follow-up questions.
Right. And
I actually immediately will never talk to that person again.
You just go silent.
I'm like, well,
no. You finish dinner.
We finished the conversation.
You hear the scraping of the utensils on the plate, but that's it.
And then I'm gone.
Yes.
But we have nothing else to talk about. No, I mean, it's more like if I'll sit there, and if someone's telling me about
one of their interests.
Yeah, I'm going to ask questions
about their interest. Yeah,
but I expect the same in return.
As you should. I mean, that's something that's important. Someone has genuine interest in who you are, and genuine care for who you are. That's all important.
I dated a guy for about 1.5 years, and he was not really a theater person, but he came to see me in a show, and then, which was like our first date, kind of. And then...
Which is a little tough.
Well, it was very tenuous because I wasn't... The way that we met was kind of funny, but, and he was interested in seeing me, and I said, I have no time to see you because I'm starring in a play.
I'm starring.
So if you want to come see me, you can come see the show, and then maybe we could have dinner after at a diner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he came. And I was totally nervous, but we hit it off.
Nice.
Because he was so excited about the show. He was excited about watching me. We had a great dinner. We just totally hit it off. And then after dinner, I said, I don't have time to see you for the next 4 weeks. And he said, oh, no, I'm going to see you at some point. And I thought that was really cool, although I was a little annoyed because I was like, well, Tuesdays I'm busy with giving my cat insulin at night. And he was like...
Wait, how long does it take?
I don't know.
I used to give my dog insulin. It didn't take that long.
I don't know why. I think that was the day I had to do we had to do a blood sugar curve reading or something. So the whole day I needed to be home because every few hours we had to do another reading of the sugar and then review our notes by the end of the day. So I mean,
it was a busy Tuesday. There's no room for tacos or guys who come to the theater.
And I think maybe I thought about it, and then I was like, maybe my mom will let me go to the movies with this guy. Maybe because I was partnering with my mom.
Right.
I'm not like I needed permission from my mom to go out with this guy, but she was like, yeah, go, I'll be fine. I didn't have to help her so it worked out. And then I slowly, because theater was such a huge thing in my life, and this guy recognized that. He was not trying to pull me away from it. He was trying to become more interested in it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's very cool. For full context for the audience, what was the show and what was your role?
Oh, it was Chicago, and I was playing Roxy.
Oh,
yeah.
Got to show off a little, huh?
It was, yeah. And I mean, when I look back on that video, I'm like, no one can ever see this ever again, because it was... I'm like an amateur dancer. I wasn't that good. I did the best that I could at the time.
Absolutely.
But
I'm just glad it wasn't Mamma Mia or something like that. You had to suffer through an ABBA concert.
That would have been fun for him, too. He would have loved that.
The storytelling's so rough.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
The singing, you have to have good singers. There's no doubt. And ABBA concert wouldn't be awful. But, story-wise.
I still can't believe that I was cast in Chicago. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Of all the people that it was a long time ago. I actually did kind of dye my hair blonde.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was a blonde moment for me.
Why did I say ooh?
I don't know. I didn't look great.
I dyed my hair blonde. Oh, thanks.
No, I didn't look great.
I thought you said I didn't look great when I made that noise. I was like, that's very judgmental, Claire.
Wait, can I just say something?
Please.
Because I don't talk on this podcast ever. Actually, this is a question for you.
Okay.
Yes. Did you say you feel things in your body? What's that called? Kinesthetic. Okay, that's what I was getting confused with. Do you ever see images when you think of words? I don't know what that's called.
Visualization.
Yes. What's your visualization for the word compatibility?
It's very specific at this moment.
Why?
because I just see somebody's face.
Oh. Oh,
You know?
okay.
But usually, like visually, it's just not the way I work. I can be moved by audio, as I'm sure it's a huge thing for you as well. But usually I have to focus a little bit more on my visualization.
Well, I guess
What do you see?
I'm asking because my visualization is 2 plates
2 plates.
balancing together.
Oh.
Like
So
and
you're like creating a metaphor in your brain.
and not like break plates that are like back to back. I'm talking like side to side.
Like
So
the way a waitress would take like 7 trays
yeah,
on her arm.
like you have a plate in one hand, a plate in the other hand, and you're balancing them, and you're trying to get them even.
Okay. That's a lot of hard work there, Claire. I wonder what that means.
But in my vision, no one's holding them. They're just there suspended.
Oh. Just floating.
Yeah. Which doesn't have anything to do with the meaning, I don't think. But when I think of compatibility, I think of those 2 things like aligning.
It's interesting because now that you're saying it more, I often see the word. Like I'll just see the letters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see the letters
I'm
too.
sure often misspelled in my head, but like that, I'll see the word. Sometimes when I'm memorizing lines, I'll see the script page.
Well, just make sure you don't
in my
spell
head.
it like the Latin way with CUMPATTI.
Yeah, no, that would probably give
That would really confuse people.
definite.
You might get fired at your
meaning.
job.
That's interesting, though. I do think that when I visualize stuff where there's a word or something like that, I will see the word more than I'll see something. But when you first said it, I saw someone's face.
Does the word have color?
No,
Interesting.
no, it's very either white background, black letters, or black background, white letters.
Mm.
The first time it was white background, and then the second time it was black background.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All of my words and numbers have colors.
Synesthesia?
Yeah. But I don't like, it doesn't obstruct my life. It's just.
Just happens.
It just happens. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if someone were to say what color is number 5, I'll be like, well, it's it's maroon.
Oh, nice. I like that because I like maroon.
I know.
I like number 5. Does it go? Is it at any number, or is it just like 1 to 10? So if I said 25,
Pink,
oh, 26.
blue.
All right. I'm good with all of this.
Mm-hmm.
What about compatibility with friendships? I mean, we've talked a lot about like relationships, and we can get back to that as we continue to put together your new dating profile, which is what I think we're doing here. What about friendship? Has it obviously it's changed over the years, right?
Yeah. Well, in friendships, it's interesting. I feel like it's really easy with friendships because you're not trying to with relationships. I don't know if it's like this for other people, but the relationship stakes are so high that the compatibility is so important. But when it comes to friendships, like the thing I've had to focus more on friendships is like, is this person safe for me to have in my life and safe for me to talk to? And are they respecting my boundaries?
So that's so different than what I guess what I was gathering your meaning was as you were saying that, but that's very, very clear. Like it's not easier to have friends or that the boundaries are different. It's so specific for you.
I mean, it should also be like that in relationships, but like romantic relationships. But because I've had so many friendship problems or friends or people in my life that I've had to not be friends with anymore or actually cut out of my life, I've had to be a little bit more careful about the people I keep close to me. And as a result, I also keep people very far from me because like everyone's at an arm's length because some people are wonderful to have around, but maybe they do disrespect your boundaries sometimes. And maybe that person's not the person you should talk to every day on the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say there's a natural compatibility in building a friendship. You know, you discover things that you like.
Right.
You know, you do, like, if I might not have a compatibility with a friend who doesn't, I might have a friend who doesn't want to go see a show. And that's fine. I'll find another friend to do that with.
Right.
And, you know, or...
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you cut me off. I talk way too much.
Okay. Yeah, shut up, Claire. Jesus. No, I think the thought at the moment was that you have these boundaries, but yet you have a lot more friends than I think I do at this moment in my life. Like, I like my core friends, but like the friends that I keep close, like I think my friend circle is friends that I would keep close, and I don't know that I have a lot of satellites around that I would be like, oh, they're acquaintances or whatever. The people that I know, but I wouldn't call them friends. Everybody who I think I would call friends, I would trust with a certain truth about my life or something like that. When I think about how far they go.
Well, it could be that you're, in order to call someone a friend, they have to really prove themselves to you in a certain way.
Yes.
And to me, there could be a lot of people I'll call a friend, but like maybe they're not in my friend garden right now.
Yeah,
they're still in the seeds are still in the packages.
I think that's a beautiful metaphor. I think it's a beautiful metaphor. I don't know that I have packages. Everybody's kind of planted, but like I have had to pull out some weeds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was around my father's death that I felt like the garden just died or something. The plants got up and left.
There was a frost.
They were like, ooh, I don't like it here anymore. We can't deal with the good and the bad. And they just kind of left and went for the most part. And that abandonment has become a certain issue. But like lately it's been about doing some weeding, about like you have not honored my boundaries, and you have not honored our friendship, and actually done things that have caused me to like having to rip you out of my life.
Well, and
even then, sometimes I've tried to let them back in, and
or they're still there, and you didn't actually get the weed out. That's the thing about a garden, is that
I think all the weeds are out though now. I think all my weeds are out.
That's good.
I'm pretty sure about that. But I did let some back in, but like that was when I was in my forgiveness phase, and I was like, I'm just going to throw away my grievances. Whatever my grievances are, if I'm going to have forgiveness, I have to throw away my grievances. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't throw away whatever their grievances were. So it was like, all right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm locking the gate in the garden, the secret garden.
Yeah, well, you just you plant, you make room for, you take out the old and you make room for the new, and the garden, I think, really, the more I think about it, like I kind of just threw that out there, but when I think about it, it really does make sense. For the metaphor makes sense, or the analogy, I don't know, because
no, it's a metaphor.
You know, things also regrow. Sometimes things die and then they regrow, or you just have annuals. Like, you know, you have things that are always there.
Annuals are not, I don't think that those are good. They come around at certain times a year. But
they're always there. That's the thing.
Is this an episode about the Lord of the Rings and friendship? It feels like maybe. Claire's dating profile, the Lord of the Rings and friendship.
Oh, God. But no,
that to me that's a very funny way to.
Would you ever have friends that like you could just pick up with anytime?
Yes. Well, I used to. I don't really think I talk to those people anymore.
Well, then they're not annuals.
Yeah, but they were.
Okay, an annual can die.
I guess so.
Because I'm being really picky now about this garden analogy.
No, but I'd like the idea of annuals, but it just felt to me like a very. Those are not compatible in my garden, I guess.
Okay.
If I don't want a fair weather friend, I don't know.
Well, you know, if it's, I mean, I feel like there are people that maybe like summer camp friends that I made when I was 16, and for a while they were constant, and then, you know, now we're a little bit more grown up, but we don't really keep in touch. Or maybe one of them never got back to me when I said I was going to go to Europe where I know she lives, and now I don't really want to reach out to her again because she didn't feel like seeing me. Like, that changed an agreement in within me about that person.
I forgot about camp. I guess growing up, that was those annuals were really, really important. Yeah. And some of those annuals, and just the thought of those annuals regrowing each summer was the thing that drove me through the winter, which is really nice. But I just think as an adult, maybe it just feels a little different.
And like that, there are also people that, like, let's say we do a show with somebody, and then the show's over. It's harder to keep up with that person sometimes after the show, so you kind of hope you do a show with them again.
Yeah, for sure. And there are people that I guess, yeah, you're right. I can think of one in particular, but there are others that, like, I thought were friends. You know, I thought they were in the garden, and they just really weren't.
Yeah.
And they were on the outside of the fence, and they were in another garden, and they were making fun of my garden. And calling the plants stupid. No, I don't know. That's
but
I'm taking it too far.
But I think that, sometimes if I'm making a new friend, I might really enjoy that time with that person. And then, but maybe if we do a project together, or if they're in let's say I'm doing a show with a person, I really like doing a show with them, and then the next show I do with them, they're the director.
Yeah.
And then I'm not thinking of anyone in particular, so don't read into this.
Oh, phew. Phew.
I might, and it's certainly not you. But I might think like, oh, maybe I'm not really as compatible with that person because I don't believe I see eye to eye with them on their vision or the way that they're handling this. And then I might take space from that person.
Yeah. I mean, there may be friendships too, like outside of projects, and then you do a project together and you go, oh, I'm not compatible with the way that this person works at all. We have a very different idea of what we think of as the work or creativity.
Or maybe that person just like has really bad habits, or like
they drop their costumes all over the backstage, and then the place becomes such a mess that you start to lose your mind.
Talk about incompatibility with an entire cast. That's a lot of people. Or maybe it was just one. I don't know.
I think it was two. That's what I think.
I mean, so there's so much to be said about this topic that I feel like we're barely scratching the surface.
For sure.
Because also in our typical way, we just, we bounced off a couple of things, and
then go do a couple of other things.
Like, one of my good friends is married, and she talked to me about, I asked her questions about her relationship with her husband, and like, how did you know that you wanted to marry him, and how did you know it was right, blah blah blah. And she said a couple of really simple things. And I think it's funny that one of the things she mentioned was about how they do the dishes together.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this because it obviously is so important to her that she had to mention it to me, which is like, we operate well in the house together. Like, when we do the dishes, like, maybe I'll cook and he does the dishes. Or I like the way that we partner together when we're doing that.
Right.
And I'm like, that's so important to me. Like, I mean, I would understand the importance of that. Kitchen etiquette to me, like, I need to be on the same wavelength as another person in the kitchen.
Right. Also, I've heard that your tolerance for mess.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't live together because my tolerance for mess is so much greater than your tolerance for mess, I think.
Oh, Matt, you haven't seen my room. No, but actually...
Oh, no. It was Sally Rose. Rose.
I
was like, this place is clean compared to what it normally is. She's like, yeah, I couldn't take this.
Yeah.
We could not be roommates.
Well, and also, like, if I were to have to move into your place, it would be horrible. And also, what I would do is I would tolerate my own mess, but I wouldn't tolerate your mess.
Yes.
Which is huge incompatibility.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I think how people argue, like learning how to get through disputes, is a compatibility. I mean, sometimes you have to work through how you guys argue so that it works for both sides, or dispute. Maybe arguments.
No,
they're
yeah,
wrong.
you're right. That is important because sometimes you might find a gaslighter.
Yeah.
And that's really dangerous.
I know it's become a buzzword.
Yeah.
But I think because it's existed forever and we haven't called it out till real recently, it's way too popular a tactic.
Yeah, and I think some people don't even realize they're doing it. They just want to be heard and they want their point across.
They want to be right.
Right. I mean, when I got out of a long relationship, I really took some time from it. Like I made sure that this person and I did not have any communication for a couple of weeks. And after that couple of weeks, I really felt like the skies were blue again.
Yeah.
And that relationship wasn't a total gaslight, but there were times that I noticed when we would argue, I was always wrong.
Yeah.
That's how it always ended. And I wasn't wrong. I mean, whatever wrong or right is, it's whatever your own personal truth is. But I had a grievance. I had to bring it up. And then by the end of the conversation, I was wrong for having the grievance.
Yeah. And that's it feels like gaslighting. Exactly what that is. I think in terms of compatibility, there are things that I want. I want to feel inspired, by my partner. I want them to be inspiring, to be a muse in a lot of ways. I want them to show care because I'm going to show care. And okay, this is forget my list. We're not doing my dating profile.
Okay.
This is what the thought that I had before we started. If I could remember it now that I had it, and then it's disappearing. Fuck.
Did it fly away in a balloon?
It totally flew away. It's going back to Kansas. Oh, fuck you. No, I had this thought before we were starting about compatibility, and was it about what we want or what we need? Oh, it's gone. It's so gone. And the more that I'm thinking about it now, the more it's escaping my mind in every single way.
It'll come back to you.
I guess so.
But what do we do now?
I don't know. That's why I was stalling. I was saying all of that stuff just before, hoping that some sort of spark would come back. So what I was saying was I was going through the things that I need in order to feel compatibility.
Don't try to remember it because you won't. Why don't you read the myths and cliches, and then if it was meant to be said, it'll be said.
It was the most brilliant thing I've ever come up with. And now it's gone. Okay, myths about compatibility. Opposites attract. Here it fucking is. Rated. Okay, so no, this is what I wanted to say.
You remembered?
Yeah.
Yay!
Because I think it had to do with when I first saw the myth list. Do you think what's more compatible for you is someone who mirrors who you are, or is a complete opposite and balances you out? So it's like, if you think about the signs and whatever, it's like, can a Pisces date a Pisces? Can a Leo date a Leo? And or do you need like the exact opposite of what that is? And I think for a long time I was like, well, this person gives me, I'm unorganized, so I need an organized person, and this person, blah, 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 blah. And so I really thought like, oh, balance is really the key thing. But I'm finding there's obviously there's a middle ground, but that a reflection of the things that I give is really what I want. And I think those are the things, that's why I am the way that I am. I want care. I give care, and I want care, we both want gifts, and stuff. That's why we give gifts.
But we also want to be able to give them.
Yes.
And dating somebody who doesn't like to receive gifts might be an incompatibility.
Yeah. You have to like be clear about the idea that it's you want to bring me joy, and this brings me joy.
Yeah.
Getting people gifts brings me joy. I know that it can bring other people joy. Because as I've said many times, it's about seeing the person, letting that person know that you see them. So yeah, do you think opposites attract?
It's interesting because when you were saying that, I was thinking about the yin and the yang,
Right.
and I want to look that up, but because it's not necessarily about how opposites attract. It's about how the two people complement one another. Now,
Yeah, that's a much better way to put it.
there's a really good piece of writing that I should have brought that I would love
Sun
to.
Tzu, The Art of War.
No, it's
my bad.
from the Christian Science scripture,
Ooh,
actually.
Okay.
And when I was young, I would read this passage that it's gender based, so it's not super relevant, but it actually that's okay. It could be that can be taken out of context 100% because and I'll find it. But what I have to say is about the opposites attract thing. Like, I don't think I want a mirror version of myself, but there are some times that I've met people or I've been interested in dating people that I find that we do have similarities that I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And that could be political similarities, maybe certain publications that we read that are the same. I like that. Maybe the way that we handle driving, road rage type thing. The way that they
have to swear really well.
Like the way that they choose their swear words to use their the type of movies they want to watch.
Yeah. Well, that's really what it says here. It's like differences can add excitement, but fundamental values and beliefs are more critical to long-term compatibility. The shared beliefs.
Yes. And that to me is a slight mirror of myself.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's not like
yourself.
But I don't want those negative traits. I don't want to date a messy person.
Right.
But do I want to date a neat person? That would be nice. But I don't want to date a neat person so they can help me fix my messiness. In fact, what I need is a neat person to model my behavior after.
Okay. And that they're not going to be like throwing it in your face if you're messy as well.
I mean, something polite would be fine. But I'll clean the bathroom. I don't know why.
That's weird.
I'm a
That's
bathroom
so
cleaner.
Weird.
Like,
and you said before too that you would come here and you would clean my place easier than you would clean your own place.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess not that strange to me. I probably would clean your place much easier than I would clean my place.
Well, exactly. Should we do this?
Maybe, because it's just like to help each other. Wait, I haven't seen your mess yet.
My mess is like I mean, if I had 2 hours here, I could do that corner and maybe the surface up there. But your mess reminds me of my mess.
Okay.
And in fact, and what the problem is that I need to like have a couple of days to just have boxes out where I'm like, this is a piece of paper that's a bill that I want to file, or this is sheet music,
right?
Or this is something I don't need right now, but I might want later,
right?
Or why are all these essential oils taking up so much space?
They're very selfish, those essential oils. This has nothing to do with anything except it has to do with everything. Could you date somebody who was a better singer than you?
No. Because that person will know that they're a good singer and then they'll be constantly singing. And
is that how singers are when they know that they're good singers?
Yep. 100%. They know it. Someone's told them.
So if there's a better singer than you, somebody has told them. Someone who sings better than you it's not a hidden talent somewhere that they just discover in the shower.
No. This person, like, I've dated people who like can play guitar and then can sing, they can hold a tune. They don't think much of themselves in that regard. That's perfect.
Yeah. That's
because then they'll want to sing with me and then we can sing together.
Yeah. Do you want a piano? Would you rather a piano player or a guitar player?
I mean, guitar is like super easy to like bring everywhere. But
right.
I mean, I did date a jazz piano player once, and that was really fun. But if you're I don't know, it's both. It's fine. Both are fine.
Do you sing everywhere? Is that what you do? You go around just singing everywhere?
Oh yeah, all the time. As any opportunities I have to sing, I will do it.
Perfect compatibility exists. Many people believe that there's a perfect match out there. However, all relationships require effort and compromise, and no couple is perfectly compatible in every way. I mean, it kind of takes the fun out of it if you don't have to figure stuff out, if you don't have to grow, if you don't have to realize that maybe you're stubborn about something and someone, reflects that stubbornness upon you and you get to grow and change. So I'm with that. Compatibility means never fighting. Disagreements are natural in any relationship. Compatibility involves how well partners manage conflicts and communicate, not the absence of conflict. I mean, yeah, we kind of talked about that before. Like, can you learn to argue without calling names or taking shots or making someone or gaslighting?
Like, what's the difference between hurting that person and like poking fun at that person?
Right.
And knowing what is that person's like, you can't go there type thing.
Some people believe like the truth at all consequences, or the truth no matter what. And the truth has timing too. Like you can't just unload a truth at the wrong time, because then it will be hurtful. Truth isn't to hurt. And we're not entitled to like blah, 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 our truth all the time. And what I mean is it's our perception. So if I'm just like, I'm your friend, so I got to give you the ultimate truth about you, and this is what I think.
No, I don't always want that.
No, and it's not helpful. And if you're my friend, you want to be helpful.
Right. And
that's part of compatibility too, is the care that comes from helping each other, not like.
I mean, I don't always want to know if my ex is dating someone. And I would actually prefer not to know that.
Right.
So
how's that helpful?
Well, and I've learned this too, is like, if you have heard something, let's say like my friend's ex is dating someone else, I'm not going to call them up and tell them to give them the spill the tea.
Right.
Because that might hurt them.
Yeah.
Because if that were me, it might hurt me.
Exactly. You'll come here on Sunday and tell Grady and I. So we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what these types of friendships are for.
Perfect.
Shared interests equal compatibility. While having common interests can enhance a relationship, deeper compatibility often relies on shared value, life goals, and emotional support. Mm-hmm. And you can't argue with that. Age determines compatibility. Well, no, because I really believe, like, I go back to Sally Rose and I, like, creatively we're super, super compatible, and we're in very different age brackets. So that happens. Compatibility comes from, like it said, shared values and emotional support.
Yeah, I mean, I think
even you and I are different.
Yeah,
you're much older than I am.
I'm so much older than you. Well, I think too, like if you're
Grady's 26.
I know, he's so young. Well, when if you're younger, like, I mean, I always felt like I got along with people who were like 5 and 10 years older than me when I was in my early 20s, but I would have been a little nervous to date them because I'm like, I feel like they might be in a different spot in their life than me, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But I mean, just like, I guess I was thinking even just friendships,
Oh, yeah.
Not just.
Oh yeah, like I have a friend. I actually, some of my most lovely friends right now are about 15 years older than me. I'm trying to find this
elderly,
thing.
really.
There's. Oh my God! Did I find it?
So, I don't know what she's looking for, but it's really like.
I found it. Can I read it?
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right, please don't feel offended by the use of the words masculine and feminine in this passage, because...
Okay. And this was from the Christian Science...
This is from Science and Health, which is the... it's a key to the scriptures. So basically, Mary Baker...
It's the Federalist Papers.
Mary Baker Eddy, who fell on the ice and broke her leg... she sat in bed for, that's not why she wrote this. I don't know why I said that. I think it's because I slipped on the ice last week.
It's relatable.
So she basically takes the Bible, and she kind of does an interpretation, but also this is it's a Christian Science text, which has nothing to do with Scientology for those of you who are thinking of that. But any other questions about this, you can ask me later. But so this is on her chapter called Marriage. Okay. Union of the masculine and feminine qualities constitutes completeness. The masculine mind reaches a higher tone through certain elements of the feminine, while the feminine mind gains courage and strength through masculine qualities. These different elements conjoin naturally with each other, and their true harmony is in spiritual oneness. Both sexes should be loving, pure, tender, and strong. The attraction between native qualities will be perpetual, only as it is pure and true, bringing sweet seasons of renewal like the returning spring. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it is very nice.
You know, taking away the
balance.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just balance for like male and female, because as our society and what I truly believe, you know, gender is fluid, but I believe that when it comes to compatibility, we recognize things in each other that are a sweet harmony.
Yeah.
And that's friendships and relationships and technology.
Great to use that word too, harmony. I was thinking it was different, but like the way that he said, I can't remember exactly the context in which he used the word harmony. But it's such a beautifully descriptive, lovely way to look at compatibility. And even through just like, even just through feeling, I feel like it's something that we know, that harmony with another person, as opposed to like in your mind understanding, well, you check the box here and you check the box. You know, when I watch my stupid Love Island all the time, they're like, well, you're checking all these boxes and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but that's not really, that's compatible on paper as opposed to compatible in like a feeling, which would be harmony.
I did one time write out my relationship musts one time, and it was actually after
a Claire's Bill of Rights.
Yeah, and it wasn't so structured. It was like kind of stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
But I had written it after I had dated someone who I felt was incompatible with me in a number of ways, and I had to realize that. And so I was like, let me sit down and let me think of all the things that didn't work out with that person and what I really would like in the next person.
Right.
And the next person I found was almost to a T everything I'd written out. But it still didn't work out between us.
Yeah.
And which really pissed me off because I was like, I wrote you into existence.
Right. And it didn't happen.
But maybe that person was obviously not compatible with me at the time, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a truth that has to be honored. So, yeah.
But now I'm sad.
It's okay. But that's interesting to me because I look at that and I'm like, wow, I don't feel like editing that list.
Right.
But maybe if I were to do it today, I would make a couple of edits. But those things still remain true. You know, like a support for me in my art and support for me in my mental health, support for me in my journey in sobriety. An interest in things that I
feel
value.
I feel like all those things though you can understand like in retrospect, like after you guys have been together for a while or whatever, and you look back and go, oh, there are all of these things that I thought were important are important because they make me feel safe and connected to this human being, as opposed to going in with it like the checklist that the 5-minute speed dating.
Yeah, and you know, I didn't exactly have that checklist out at the time. I just, I really learned those things about that person, and when
checking all the boxes,
and then but another thing is too is like that list is really all about what I want, how I want to feel around that person.
Right.
But I also need to be open about maybe there might be a couple things that I might have to. Not compromise, but like maybe some of those things need to be tweaked. Maybe I need to be open-minded about something different.
Well, it's also like what do you guys need as a couple? as opposed to just
I mean,
bending towards one or the other. I mean, that balance, like, and being able to hit whatever both needs are really important, right?
Like, I really am not sure if I could date someone who loves football so much that they dedicate their entire Sunday to a sport.
Which football?
The American football.
Okay. Phew.
Sorry.
I was scared there for a second. Like, you're going to cut somebody out of your life who loves the beautiful game? Tottenham, you suck right now.
But even so, like, if someone is really spending that much time in front of a television, and I'm not saying this in any judgment because you're my friend and I love and respect everything you do, but
my love of sports.
But if somebody, like, having the TV on with a sport on at all times of day does not work for me.
I'll tell you this. I don't watch ESPN at all
I don't
anymore.
think that's you anyway, but
it used to be like kind of default, put it on in the back. I do love sports.
yeah.
I do. I absolutely love sports, but I get it. I don't like American football that much. I will pay attention to what happens today, but it won't be.
I will
everything.
too, because everyone in my life is so concerned. Also, the woman who plays Elphaba on Broadway right now is singing the national anthem at the Eagles game.
So you gotta.
So I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna watch the game.
Forget the game.
I'm there for her.
So I don't know. Do you think we did this thing?
We barely cracked it, but at least we started.
We definitely have started a new profile for you. I think we're gonna get it out there.
God,
I took a picture
awful.
of you and you're wrapped up in your blanket. It'll
That's
be
a
the
little.
first
That's
pic.
good. That's a little bit more current. Some of my pictures aren't very current, and I really should change them.
No, I mean, compatibility is it's a big topic, and it obviously grows, and we have different needs at different points in our lives and stuff like that. And I feel very blessed at this moment to be where I am. So, hey, thanks for the conversation.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
All right, there's no farting noise today because
No.
Grady's. Oh, did we mention that Grady hasn't been here today? It's not that he's been quiet and has nothing to say about compatibility.
We didn't even say that he wasn't here.
Well, because we really got right into it, and then we weren't sure if we were doing a cold open or not.
Yeah, we got thrown off.
And now you're making me do a cold open, which I don't know that I want to do, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
And, but yeah, Grady's not here.
It's gonna be a small one.
He'll be here next time.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, people. So that was our episode. Compatibility means to suffer with. I guess it doesn't totally mean that, but it was an interesting way to start our podcast off with a quote from Jack Kenny. This is not a quote, but like information from Mr. Kenny. Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. We had a lot of fun this week trying to crack open the idea of compatibility, and I think we got to it, and I think, we're going to have a good, solid dating profile for Claire coming up. So thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. And then you can maybe tell a friend or share it with someone. Either way, hope to see you next week, or not even see you. What would we do? You would hear us. We wouldn't even see you. But if you want to get in touch with us, you can write us at thelastwillpodcast.com, or you can DM us on the Last Will Podcast on Instagram. And so hope to speak to you soon. What? You hang up first. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. I hate myself. Onward, forward.